Hey, good morning. Mark Avens here with another quick little live for you. I hope you're having a great week so far. And if you're in the season of maybe thinking about restoring your body and maybe your life, I want to share with you just a quick little bit of encouragement. Just behind me here, you see we got the lights up. And as we were putting up the lights last weekend, we got the lights up in our little cottage here, our little beach cottage. And I was thinking about how many years we've put lights, the same type of lights, up on our house during the Christmas season. And I remember when we first moved in here back in 2002, believe it or not, we've been in one house, we've owned one house, we've raised our family. And it was an interesting season when we first jumped into home ownership. And we bought for location, and this house here was a complete mess. And over time, we slowly put in some sweat equity, right? They called it sweat equity when you really couldn't afford to do much but just kind of paint. And we did some things, and I remember putting lights on there, and it made me think of restoration. And if you pay attention to my morning prayers, I talked about restoration, and it was something that just reminded me of how we restore ourselves. And maybe you're in a season now as Christmas comes and New Year's, and you're getting ready to take a break and thinking about maybe relaxing a little bit. And this season, maybe it's a time too also to think about when you're restoring your body and your life. How do you do that? Now, I can share with you two things that happens. It's the one thing about thinking it. And as you think about, like when we were doing work on this house, I can tell you, it was in the beginning, the first 5 years, we really didn't have much resources. We were able to do a little bit of paint. We did put some new windows on at the time because they were like the old school Jallis windows. But we had like minimal resources, but we made what we could work, and we were able to put in the time and restore. And we did what we could do. So we were able to restore what we could do at that time. And then over time, we were able to restore a little bit more. And then 5-year plan was to renovate. And that's where we put on the cedar shingles and made it our home. Truly was able to make kind of the next step, take another step forward. And we've been here for 20 years, which is kind of crazy to think. My question to you is, in your body, in your life, in restoration, when you think about restoration, when you're thinking about maybe your body and your life needing an overhaul, do you think about the things that you can do, or is it easy to fall back into the things that you can't do? And I want to encourage you today to focus on what you can do. Oftentimes when I get started with my students in a coaching program, it's, of course, they tell me what they can't do, maybe what they're not able to do. I have many people over 40 who tell me, you know what, it's hard to do these type of exercises. I really have a hard time eating healthy foods. I have had people that had surgeries. It's hard to exercise when you had a knee replacement, right? It's hard to maybe think about cooking when I haven't really cooked for myself for a very long time. It's hard to think about maybe having support for the very first time when I've never really had support before in the past. And that's something that I want to encourage you today in thinking about the things that you can do, the things that you're able to control, the action steps that you are able to make. You see, when it comes to restoration, we could have just moved in this house and left it the way it was, and it probably would have been okay, well, for a while. Then guess what would have happened? I know, because it did happen, is you'd have some leaks. Our roof, the house is actually about, 60, 70 years old. And if we didn't do the proper care to restore it, it'd start falling apart, right? Like an old house starts to fall apart if you don't take care of at least the general maintenance. Does that make sense? So as I was climbing up here, my wife and I were putting up the lights the other day. I was thinking to myself of how much restoration and how much effort went into the things that we were able to do. And I want to encourage you in your quest to maybe improving your home, but think about your body, think about your health, think about your life, and think about the path of restoration for you. Are you focused on the things that you can do? Are you focused on the things that you can control? Are you focused on the things that you can take action steps? Because it's easy. I think the enemy wants to tell you and say to you and pull you down and try to give you reasons to not take action, reasons to not move forward, reasons to not do the things that you can do. And I want to encourage you. Now, if you're stuck, if you're struggling, as part of what my program, and as you know, if you've been following me any period of time, you know I do coaching. I have it's called the Lean Body Breakthrough Coaching Program, and it is an online coaching program. And I help men and women who are stuck trying to figure out, okay, my house is broken down, meaning their body. And I hope you're tracking me here. And I don't know how to renovate it. I don't know what I need to do. Like, I don't know how to exercise. I'm not quite sure how to fuel my body properly. And you know what? When we went to do our renovations on our house, do you think we did it ourselves? Well, we did the work, but we got a lot of help. We had window people help us with the windows. My dad, who is a builder, helped us with the shingles. And we had people who actually know how to renovate houses help us renovate a house, right? Unless you're a handy person or you're a carpenter or a builder, what's going to happen when your house needs renovating? Are you going to do it yourself? Maybe some of the painting, maybe some of the decorating and stuff. But chances are, if your house needs renovation, you're going to get an expert to help you, right? It makes sense. It's kind of like the same thing when it comes to your body and your health and your life. If you're thinking about restoring and maybe renovating your health and your body and your life, maybe the only reason why you haven't gotten fully renovated yet is because you haven't called on the care of an expert, somebody that can have outside eyes, can see what you're maybe doing, take a look at, just as we did with builders when they came to our house and said, okay, well, way back, I don't know if you ever heard of Jallis windows. We had what are called Jallis windows, and we had literally vines growing in these windows. Not anymore, thankfully, but we had vines growing in the windows. We had rats up in the roof. We had leaks. We had the old shag carpet. We had the avocado bathrooms. It was a hot mess, and there was the prior owner was one owner. It smelled like pee. There was cockroaches. It was really, really bad, but we did what we could do. We took the action steps that we were able to take, and we made the renovations that were necessary for us to move in this and raise a family. And here we are 20 years later, and guess what? The house is still up. Guess what? It's still there. And guess what? If you make the right renovations for yourself and your health and your life, if you're able to get what you need to get that weight off, maybe get on the right path, and guess what? Then you can be restored. That's what restoration, that's what renovation is all about. And listen, I know it's Christmas time, right? Christmas season. We even got the, what are those called? Not hydrangeas. I forget what those called. I forget those plants. We just went and got them the other day. Those red plants back there. We got look, you want to see Frosty? I'm going to walk back here. See Frosty. We got Frosty, even old school Frosty. And I don't know what the Christmas season looks like for you, but I know a lot of people will wait. I'm just going to wait until the new year. Let me just wait until things settle down. Let me just wait. And then what happens is the new year comes, and then there's no plan. And then you want to take action, but then you don't have a plan. There's no structure, there's no accountability. And, unfortunately, a lot of times people just end up becoming part of the statistic we talked about before, about that 8%, right? 8%, only 8% of people who start New Year's resolutions. So my suggestion to you is if you're needing renovation, if you're wanting to get restored, you want to restore that body, is to now make the plan. In fact, I'm accepting a handful of people into January. We can only accept about 10 people into our coaching program at a time. I already have 3 people already in, so which means I have enough for about 7 spots in January. And again, if you're thinking, well, I'll just wait till January, now is the time. Now is the time. If we waited and waited and waited to restore our house right now, it'd probably be falling down. In other words, there'd be trees there'd be leaks, there'd be rats in it. That's no way to live. And neither is if your body needs renovation. So hope this helped, and let's make 2022 the year of a breakthrough. If you want to have a breakthrough year in your body and your health and your life, send me a private message with breakthrough, and I'll make sure I take good care of you. Take care and have a blessed day.